Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. I am in one of two planes that you get when you first download DCS. This is the P-51 Mustang Trainer. Okay, the guns don't work on this plane. The other one you get is the Su-25, a Russian jet bomber similar to the A-10. Okay, so I am in my virtual reality goggles today, Windows Mixed Reality, and because I can't see my keyboard, I am using an x56 HOTAS system that has some of the buttons programmed into it. And this cockpit is fully interactive. All the buttons are absolutely clickable, all the knobs are turnable, all the cranks are crankable. Everything, you can do everything in this plane as if you were in the real plane. So on schedule today, we are going to go through the startup procedure on what to do to start this plane up, taxi out to the runway, and take off, and bring it around, and hopefully bring it in for a good landing. No guarantees. Okay, so let's start with the startup procedure. Okay, there is a little list of startup procedures right there. Does it mean I don't know. I've never looked at it. I'll be honest with you guys. I had not been using the P-51 for quite a while, so I had been spending the last few days in preparation for doing this video, refamiliarizing myself with the plane and the startup procedure and everything that had to be done for this. I have a lot of the buttons already programmed in my HOTAS, but I will definitely use the mouse for some of them. I do find the dials hard to use with the mouse, so I typically avoid that. But definitely the buttons, you can click all the buttons, and it's really good. Okay, let's get on with it. So the first thing you do is bring your flaps all the way up. That's your flaps knob down there. Next thing you do, and these are already up, so I'm going to make sure they're already back, and these should be back here. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring, these are your hot and cold air controls for your carburetor. You're going to bring those all the way up, like that. We're going to set the rudder to 5 degrees to the right, again, because it's a dial. I have it set to a dial on my HOTAS. 5 degrees to the right, perfect. Swinging across the cockpit, we are going to open up the fuel valve. We are going to turn the ignition to both, which is all the way to the left. So I'll just click that all the way to the left, and I am using the mouse and clicking it. Coming around to the other panel, this is mostly radio, lights, things like that. Don't need much of it for the takeoff. We're going to turn the battery on, get power to the plane, and we're going to turn the generator on. Okay, we're really close. So much like a lawnmower, this plane needs to be primed, and the starting procedure, it's a little complex, but it's nothing horrible. You have your mixture control right here, okay, and right now it's set to idle. And then there's run down here. So what the thing is what you have to do is you have to hit the starter switch. As the propellers are twirling, you'll hear the engine trying to catch. You want to flip this knob down to run. Not easy to do with the mouse because you have to really let go of the starter switch, which stops the engine from spinning, to get over here to get the mixture down to run, and a lot of times you don't have enough time to do that, and so it don't start. So I do have the mixture on a button on my HOTAS because it's hard to do with just the mouse. I am going to turn the fuel booster on. I'll turn it off once we get the engine going. So let's prime the engine. Now this engine is very loud, even compared to the jets. I found this very loud. I actually turned the volume down. Okay, primed. Set your throttle a little bit, 5%, and start her up. Let's flick the switch. Get the propeller going. You can hear that catching sound. Okay, take it down to run, and we're running. Oh, I forgot a step. That's okay. I'll put the brakes on. Okay, so you would have to engage, you should engage the parking brake. If I can remember the procedure on how to do that. There we go, parking brake. Just so when you start up it doesn't take off on you. You do have your propeller RPM, which I'll put up to half. Okay. Alright, we're ready to move. This plane is a tail turning plane. In other words, it's got a wheel on the tail of the plane. I believe pushing back locks that wheel. So you only get 5 or 15% turning on the wheel, which basically means it turns really, really wide. You can unlock the wheel, but what I found by doing that is as soon as you apply a little left or right rudder, the plane just spins, and it's very hard to control. So what I heard and what I got suggestions was use this plane has individual controls for both its wheel brakes, so you can actually control them, and that can assist you in steering. It's still a little touchy. It takes a little bit of practice. All right, so we're going to release the brake. Release the brake. There we go, and give it a little power. And the other thing I had to get used to too is the jets. You know, when you push the power on the jet, it takes a minute, and quite a bit of power to get the jets moving. Right? You touch the throttle on this thing, and it moves. Right? It doesn't sit around. It doesn't wait for more input. You touch the throttle, and it's ready to go. Alright, get us out on the runway. Now I do not have pedals. Again, you know, like most of you who are probably watching this channel, I am brand new, right? So I don't have pedals. So pedals are running like $200, but I do have the access set into my, is in my stick. Okay, so I can twist with the wrist to use the rudder. Okay, we're gonna uncage horizon. Okay, oh, we got to close the cockpit. Close the cockpit. There we go. Again, just set it to a button. I found with the mouse trying to close the cockpit and trying to get that thing to turn, it was kind of hard. Okay, so the P-51 will basically take off on its own. You really don't have to do much. Maybe a slight pullback on the stick really doesn't take much. Okay, so we're going to apply power. Oh yeah, there's your manifold pressure. You want to hit your manifold pressure for takeoff at around 30. Okay, and that's all you need. So it's about half. So let's see how I do. There we go. Not even half. Barely up. Turn up my propeller RPMs, little pullback on the stick, and we're up. Bring in the landing gear. Yeah, it really doesn't take much power to get this thing off the ground. My throttle, as you can see, you know, not very high. All right. We're at about 150 miles an hour, and we're sitting at about 250 feet. Get her up a little bit, just crank it up. Level her out, so yeah. The horizon's a little tricky on this plane, I gotta say. I can't remember when you uncage it, if it's after you take off, if it's before you take off. It's a little different, because obviously you can see my horizon's out. I'm still climbing. Oh. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to throw it on the left wing. Right over. We're going to give it some right rudder. Keep the nose up. A little bit more power. And we're going to swing her around. This plane will move if you want it to. And level her off. Okay, again, 200 miles an hour. She is quite maneuverable. I mean, she is a World War II fighter, so she's no slouch. Alright, coming over the city. We're gonna head out to that lake out there. Just go around our airfield. And like, you know, I'm brand new to this. I started out on this plane when I first downloaded DCS. I had just a regular old joystick. Quickly learned how difficult it would be to fly with just a joystick. So I did actually pretty quickly get myself into a HOTAS system. And I crashed this plane more than once. Oh yeah, right. Forgot to reset my rudder back to 0. I was wondering why I was drifting all over the place. There we go, that's better. So yeah, it definitely took a little bit of practice to get used to it. This plane does not like jerky motions on the stick. You can obviously make nice tight turns, but it just doesn't like you to jerk into those turns. A nice smooth movement is what this plane really prefers. Or it'll get out of control pretty quick. And believe me, I've had it done. You know, when I first started playing with the first couple times I crashed, I was pretty low to the ground, and of course I'm jerking the stick all over the place. So I decided to take it up to about 4,000, 5,000 feet and try it again up there. And definitely, very, very, very quickly, I would lose control of the plane. Luckily, I would be high enough that I just released the controls, it would straighten itself out, and I would be able to fly it again. But it likes a nice, smooth control. Alright, so now we're just gonna look back to see where our airfield is. Yep, there it is. Okay, let's bring it around. Drop it on its left wing. Keeping the nose up. Let's bring her around pretty quick here. Put a little bit more power. There we go. And there's our airfield. I'm just going to drop the power a little bit. We are well within landing parameters for speed. Bring the power up a little bit. So we're pretty far out, but I will drop the gear. And we're still a little high, so we're going to get down to about 500 feet here. There we go. And again, unlike a jet, this propeller-driven airplane, you give it some power, it reacts right away. I do find with the jets, you give it power, it takes a little bit for that jet engine to rev up the power and give you the reaction you want. Where with this, it's pretty instantaneous. Okay, so we're going to start to drop down towards the runway. I'm going to bring the flaps down, full flaps. Look there, they're going down. Reduce my speed again. I think I want in around the 100-mile mark. I think I want to bring my propeller RPM down. It's a little funky at these slow speeds to fly, but it's possible. Okay, I'm still pretty high, 250 feet. I'm going to bring her down a little bit more. My speed's increased a little high. Bring her down. There we go. What are we at? There we go. Alright. Cut my throttle. Really close now. Really, really close. Nice and slow. Cut the throttle all the way. Bring the nose up. Oh, not bad, not bad. Just a little bounce. Another bounce. And we're down. Nice. Tap the brakes. Don't do full brake. You'll put your nose in the ground. And I've done that more than once. Let's keep tapping the brakes. she'll slow down. Little longer taps. Could probably set that on a dial, but I don't. Ooh, see, there you go. You see that nose wanting to go down? Just a little too long on the brakes. Bring her to a stop. There we go. Push on the right brake. And give it a little bit of power. While on that right brake. Turn her around. Give it some rudder. A little bit more right brake. A little more right brake. There we go. I'm going to put the propeller back down. All the way down. And we are going to open the cockpit so we can see where we're going. Bring our flaps all the way back up. There we go. There, and that's where we're going. Alright, slow her down a little bit here. Left brake, left brake, left brake. Getting it, getting those brake controls. There we go. Took a lot of practice to get the braking down for that. It was a lot of practice. But seemed to be getting it. So we're just going to taxi her into the parking area and park it, and that'll be the lesson for today. Assuming the parking area is where we came from, so we'll get back there. There's our turn up there. I just love that about the VR. I can just stick my head out the cockpit. Okay, so we're going to try a little right brake. We're going to little right on the rudder. There we go. See how quickly she'll turn? You hold that brake key down a little bit, and I have spun it out, trust me. Look at that. There we go. Isn't that just wicked? There, I'm looking outside the plane. We're taxiing down. I just love it. Just love it. It's so cool. And it's coming down pretty straight and narrow. On the other side, I'll follow that white line down. Just love the look. So well done. And I don't have the means to turn this all the way up yet. I'm only got a GTX 1070 Ti, which is already an upgrade. I upgraded like a couple of weeks ago, but still looks fantastic. We'll bring it around. This is just full rudder, no braking. You can see how wide that turn was. Okay, we'll get back to our parking spot, which was over here, I believe. We're going to turn in here. There we go. We're going to use over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply that right brake, swing her around. There we go. A little bit of thrust, give her a little bit of straightness here, and back on both brakes. You see how fast she'll get going so quickly. Really amazing. The jets are not like this. Okay. Parking brake. Let's see if I can remember how to do parking brake here. There we go, parking brake's on. Okay, so let's shut her down. I'll bring the mouse out here. Bring the fuel mixture down to idle. We'll turn the fuel off. Okay, we'll dial out. I've got those on dials, and if I don't dial it, screws everything up for later. Turn that off. Oh, I didn't turn the fuel boost off. Oh, I would have run out of fuel fast. Turn off the generator. Turn off the battery. I think that's it. We're down. There you go. Nice flight with the P-51 Mustang Trainer. Thanks everybody for watching. If you like what you saw, please leave a like. Feel free to subscribe, and I welcome your comments. Everybody have a great day. Bye.